给你们一个故事这个我的生活的故事。我工作的时候，我很真实，我在你们的姐姐，我在你们的姐姐现在，但是我下班的时候我喜欢旅游。我旅游，因为我长大的时候应该现在我有很多方面的时间要旅游所以我旅游去了差不多现在141国家在世界上现在有196国家，所以还有5些国家还没有去过。我要告诉你们我旅游的时候，我喜欢什么国家我去，我找到了中国人，真的很难的国家也是我找到中国人，因为我喜欢知道为什么有中国人，在什么国家都有中国人。现在在非洲有的在南边也有的在南洋也是有的很多现在让我说英文一下，因为我的内容如果我说英文应该清楚一下，所以我要我的员工的发音了，我的内容好不好？是吗？好。For those of you who speak English, I was just explaining that when I'm free, I like to travel, and that's like a passion in my life. And I've been to 140 countries. When I travel, one small habit I have is that I like to see where Chinese people are, and I have many questions. Why do these Chinese people leave such a successful economy that has been growing at one time 12% per year, and then today it's like 5% a year, but still much more successful than any other country in the world. And despite the success of China, you will find many Chinese people in the worst country in the world. So tonight, as we end the dinner, I want to leave you with a thought. Hello, everybody. Greetings from here in Namibia. When I go into a country, I go into shops that are run by Chinese people, and I look at the things that they sell in these shops. And these shops are common in almost every country, in Africa, in South America, in some of the poorest countries in the world. In the shops, I wanted to explain to you, I looked at the shops and I asked myself, how much inventory is there in the shops? And in many cases, I think that the average Chinese merchant in a difficult country carries about $3 to $5 million worth of merchandise. You need to be proud of the fact that Chinese people, when they travel to the furthest country and make available merchandises in the cheap form that they do, they finally make life worth living for some of the poorest people in the world. I've been to some of the poorest countries in the world, Mauritania, Namibia, Rwanda, and it's very heartening to see Chinese department stores selling ordinary, everyday, usable things that the local people can use. And so I talk to the people that I visit. So, 好朋友，我在Namibia，我见了新朋友，他住在Namibia很久。是的，这个是哪个的重点吗？是吗？ 你们的商店啊，对，自己的商店。你住在里面多久？我也住20来年吧，看起来很年轻，但是他说他已经老了。
曾经就知道，
对，
在教育的，你也知道中国教育比较普及嘛，1个小时你只要肯学，很多时候
是，
拿着我们自己都是省吃俭用去借钱，都跟人借钱，慢慢快来3G800，我们也才有慢慢积累。
所以你的目标是什么？你这样
没有太大目标，当时我们这是一个普通的工作人员，我们觉得外面看一看也有走出去的，看过还有3G能做点这样的事情，不是不可以啊。商业上可能比国内一家公司要好一点，我们去生存好像到哪里都一样
啊，
没事的，
是
无所谓
啊，
对不对？那中国也是生存，那国外也是生存，
什么地方都是很难，不难的。
而且有很多以前拿一谋生，到了一生存就定居在那企业，也是一样。我觉得这边好，我也现在我待在城里，我也是长期在这边，我也拿了也有生活，也可以待在这，也可以隐去。
所以什么时候你真退休了？你看起来很年轻，还很年轻着。
我退休了，该退休了。
要是吗？
人照顾啊，
先干得好
啊，
是，
自己觉得好，还不回去。因为我们的文明跟他们文明不一样，你永久在这边可能不大容易吃。这代人都是在这个交界的过程，不是他没有。
中国的银行在这里没有
中国
哦，银行没有放出力，在中国也没有放出力。
没有。
这个 export
这个我们这个很麻烦，这些做很不大，为什么？它是国家外汇管制，它又没政府银行，没有。他们都是当地银行，而且就是他们银行是不利投资什么，是吧？银行都是做当地投资里面还财，这都是自己利息，所以中国没有里面。
And so, I have long conversations with some of the Chinese people living in these faraway countries, and I ask them questions like, "Why did you leave the comfort of China to go so far away?" Sometimes with your wife and sometimes with your young children, and your children actually grow up in these difficult places. At the official level, we know everything about Belt and Road, the government policies, and how the banks have been funding some of the large state-owned enterprises to go abroad. But there is another story that is taking place around the world. The story of ordinary people building their dreams wherever they want to go to. China is not just about the government. It is about the energy of its people. And it's the story of the energy of its people that makes this a great country. To this day, I am still amazed by this energy and the way in which it goes to some of the furthest places in the world. And when you think how they get funded, they weren't funded by you, the banks. There is a part of China's economy where ordinary people are funding themselves by helping each other in families, in groups. You need to be aware of this other part of China that may not be your story, but is actually part of the whole story of China. Another element that I experience when I travel around the world is how friendly these people are. Some Western media like to think of Chinese as being racist people, but when I travel to these regions, I see Chinese people interacting with the local community in a very, very natural way. So today, that's my story. That's my experience of China. That is the China that I love. And I want to share that with you today.